And also we have collabs that make no sense because some of them weren't from that year. And we have futuristic guns and designs. I don't know. The campaign went on a complete nosedive. All of a sudden we started doing zombies in the campaign. Like hallucinogens, it made sense, but then we started fighting this chick for her memory. Apparently we were like dissecting her mind, like breaking her conditioning. It made no sense, man. Like the first few missions were cool. They were like, oh my god, we're gonna go see Adler. And then we're gonna go see, what's it called? We're gonna go see this guy that's related to Adler. And no, they blamed Adler for everything. Where was Adler and all this? He was blamed for it. It wasn't him. And the campaign was gonna be so much fun. Oh my god, we're gonna have these. There's even like a crazy open mission that we have again, right? Where we bring back the park from Cold War. But even then, it makes you beg the question, what's going on with this, man? Oh, by the way, if anybody ever asks you why Cold War, I will say this right now. Why Cold War or why Black Ops 6 would be considered better than Modern Warfare 2023? Easy. I'm gonna give you right here an example. In Modern Warfare 23, you, the player, barely will ever hear music and will have these annoying missions where you're playing inside Warzone maps, right? But then, in Cold War and in Black Ops 6, you will have missions where you're playing with your teammates, right? And even in the open missions, you're gonna play with teammates and everything, and it's gonna be fun. But in Modern Warfare 23, they give you these missions where you're by yourself to complete an objective in a small minimap. It felt like an extraction shooter. There was no campaign for Modern Warfare 23. It was just random side bits here and there, and if you were lucky, you had a teammate in some of the missions. And then what is it? In 2022, people were like, oh, they're afraid of killing off characters. There's no stakes in the story. And it's just missiles, it's just missiles. In the first Modern Warfare, like, remake, it was just, it was chemicals. And now, it's missiles. What is it in 2023? It's chemical missiles. Literally, they couldn't come up with anything original for being, like, the thing that brings stakes to this. And then we got Makarov. Holy crap, they murdered Makarov, dude. I don't think you understand. Makarov is not the same Makarov we got from the original game. Like, I understand everybody's supposed to say it's a remake, it's supposed to be a new game. We're gonna get a Makarov and everything, it's gonna be fun. He's gonna be in the back of the game, he's the main villain. That wasn't the main villain. That was a pariah. That dude was like, for Mother Russia! Russia! And I'm like, that's not what Makarov was about. If I remember directly, Makarov, in the first games, in the OG games, he was like a terrorist, dude. He was literally one of the worst characters. Like, not worse as in like, oh, he's badly written. No. He was a villain, bro. He was going up for everybody. You were in his way, he was gonna kill you. He would use you as a tool. Literally, the most iconic, controversial mission for Modern Warfare, not for Modern Warfare. For, what's it called? Yeah, for Modern Warfare 2. That airport scene, you were being used as a tool by him. The tool being, you were set there to blame it on America, the attack that he created. So you were thinking, okay, this guy is subtle. This guy will not care which side he wants. He wants war. He wants to cause chaos. That's what his thing is, right? That's what Makarov is as a person. Okay. So you're wondering, okay, what does this got to do with the new Makarov, right? How is he going to fit in this story? Because technically speaking, Makarov, as a character, how does he work correctly? No, he does not. He does not work correctly at all. You will literally be surprised. For starters, he doesn't make any sense. And you may ask, how does he not make any sense? They're just presenting him. And I kid you not when I say this, Makarov in the Modern Warfare remakes is literally just put in the story. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, Makarov is just brought in. How, you may ask? Well, get this. Modern Warfare 1, no mention of him. We literally just started building up Task Force 1 for 1 at the end of the game. Okay. Modern Warfare 2, we were fighting the cartel because these people were bringing in this one guy, this terrorist, who was bringing in missiles. Right. So where does Makarov come in? At the end of the game, randomly, they go, it's Makarov. And everybody was like, oh my god, yay, Makarov. That was for nostalgia, bro. That was just for nostalgia. Because imagine if you were like one of those new kids who didn't know what Makarov was. Bam, you were so confused. Who's Makarov? Okay, you start watching YouTube videos. Bam, I know who he is. No, you don't. You don't. Because then, and one of the things that sucks about Call of Duty now, you want to get the full story, you have to watch the Battle Pass videos. That's how it is. You want to watch the full story, you gotta watch the Battle Pass. So, the final clip, I think it was before Modern Warfare 3 came out, or Modern Warfare 23, was these guys get on a plane, and on the plane, they have this other guy who's building his pistol on the plane with a porcelain, right? And he's building his pistol little by little, putting all the pieces together in order to make it come together, and that's how he's gonna take over the plane. Right, simple as that. But then he gets a text message on the phone and he goes, no Russian. And he just throws the phone away. You're like, wait, no Russian? Ooh, does that mean he's gonna do the thing from the other game? Is this gonna be another controversial mission? Is this gonna be a mission that's gonna like cause controversy like the other ones? Like I'm telling you, man, Call of Duty was not afraid to take the United States lore. Okay, they would literally grab like news agencies by the throat, be like, hey, you want attention? I'm right here. I'll give you all the attention you want. Here you go. I'm gonna give you some real news, bro. Like Modern Warfare 2, we had the attack missions on the airport, and then not even Modern Warfare, Black Ops. I think it was Black Ops 2. We had literal like, what's it called? We literally had politicians, I think it was from Cuba, that were in this, and people were complaining and everything, and they could not care because, you know, they were just writing a video game. It's fiction, technically, right? Okay. So you think, right, all of that is done. That is all good, right? So, you're thinking now, what does Modern Warfare 23 have to do with no Russian? Because they put that in the trailers, they put that in the teasing trailer for the game. And people are like, okay, so if that's in the game, what's next? What's the game gonna be about? Out of nowhere, you go and start the game by breaking out Makarov in the prison. And he's supposed to be like this subtle character, like, oh, he's mysterious, he's sitting in the dark. Right. We're going into good tones. Okay, good. I like that. He's supposed to be like this guy. Can't expect to see coming. He's planned it all out, right? That's what Makarov usually has always been. But not this time. Out of nowhere, you break out of the jail, and you just like, you know, break out the jail. Simple as that. And I wish I was joking, but that's how every mission is gonna be. That's how every Modern Warfare 23 mission is going to be. So, you break out of the jail, and you're thinking, well, what's his stick going to be? Kid you not? First thing he does is just kill one of his soldiers, and you're supposed to think, oh, he's evil. He's evil because he killed the soldiers. No, duh. That's a stereotype that every other game has used already. Move on. You want to establish Makarov as a character that's messed up? You have to make a twist that's properly built up and tension, because, for example, when we first see Makarov, we actually, there's theories that we saw him in other games, but the way I saw Makarov first time was through that mission in the airport. It was wild, because he sees you and thinks, oh, I know what you are. This isn't the message. This is the message. And he shoots you in the dome, and you're like, damn! What just happened? And then his final words are like, the Russians are gonna realize that it was the Americans that did it. They're like, wait a minute, what? And then all the mission with Shepard and everything, and you realize a twist, and bam, he was planning everything. He was playing us from the start, like a fiddle. So you're thinking, okay, if that's what the original Modern Warfare games did with Makarov, what is this one gonna do? I kid you not. This whole entire thing for Makarov in new games was that all of a sudden he's gonna be this big guy who's gonna take over and cause war against the United States with Russia on his side. And you're like, that don't sound right. Because here's the thing. Russia was never gonna be that type of person. In the games at least, right? The president and everything. They were flying away and Makarov was gonna take everything by force. That's how the game built it up as. He was gonna do everything his way because he saw that his country was not going the way he wanted. He was disillusioned. So now you're asking, well, why is he doing it? He's doing it for the country then. Which completely already takes away his motives. He was supposed to be a selfish guy. That's the entire point of Makarov. He's selfish. All that he does is for himself. Like, sure, I know what you're thinking, oh, but he's talking about taking over the West and everything. Yeah, he's taking over the West for his country, not with his country. Difference. So now, he's supposed to be subtle, right? That's the thing about Makarov's character. Makarov is supposed to be a weird guy in terms of how he's written. He's supposed to be subtle, he's supposed to be composed, right? He's supposed to keep himself like always on top of the enemy, always with that idea that he's the next thing. And you're thinking now, well, so he's not well written as a character. In terms of his attacks and everything, one of the main missions that we're supposed to be doing in Modern Warfare 3 was that we're supposed to find out why he's doing all of this. And, well, you realize that he wanted revenge and everything for what happened to him. Where we arrested him later on in the game. For some reason, they give us a mission. They give us a mission where we go to stadium. And about that stadium that we go to is also in Warzone. And that's another problem with the campaign again. Dude, the campaign should have been DLC for Modern Warfare 2. For some reason, they kept using Warzone maps. Modern Warfare 3 suffers, I kid you not, suffers from the huge issue of using Modern Warfare Warzone assets. And I mean Warzone for real, because all of these are just from Modern Warfare. Nothing is original, nothing is like changed, everything. I kid you not, it was an import. Like the first few missions you do in Modern Warfare 23 is you go in, I think as either Farah or some other character. Like that's how it is, that's how much it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The character you go in as will literally go on a mission, drop in, complete objectives around the map, and that's it. Complete objectives against AI, and nothing more. And now you may be asking yourself, if that's all we're doing, what's the point? What's the point of playing this game, right? Well, closure. That's the entire point of this, is closure. Bruh. The game literally has you playing by yourself most of the time. You barely play with AI. There's even a mission where Gaz has to go in a building, and it's pretty sick, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that's a cool mission. You go inside as Gaz, and you have to take them out quietly, because if you take them out loud, you're gonna have to move faster, and it's very fun. It's so cool. And kid you not, That's one of the few missions in that mode, in that game, that will actually have, you know, AI companions. But I don't know how to explain this. There's no story. There is no story in Modern Warfare 3. At that point, it's just cutscene after cutscene, waiting for the game to prolong. And another thing is, the game, like if you actually play the campaign, it is so short. I'll never forget this, man. When I played Black Ops 6, right, the campaign, I think because of time, took me 2 days to finish. Okay. I believe I started Modern Warfare 23 around 12 p.m. that day that it released, because I got it early access. And I finished it at 7 p.m. in the afternoon. 7 p.m. in the afternoon on a Friday. It took less than a few hours to finish. And I thought I was crazy. I thought, was that it? Is there another cutscene? Did my game not finish loading everything? Are we not gonna go after Makarov? Because guess what? That's the ending of the game, by the way. I will tell you later. But yeah, kid you not, I went on Twitter immediately. I went on TikTok. I went on everything, on Instagram, everything. And there's people posting it the same day. They're like, this is probably the worst Call of Duty ever. I just finished it. How is that even possible? And then people were like, oh my god, this is probably one of the stupidest endings ever. This is going to be one of the worst battle passes or whatever stories they came up with. It is actually garbage. So, throughout the game, you do these dumb missions and everything. One of the game missions you play as Price and you try to take down these nukes from launching. And then, for some reason in MW2, they have this addiction to extending gimmicks. For example, they had the driving mission where you had to save somebody as Gaz, or the mission where you're playing on the AC-130 with Phillips, with Philip Graves or something. And it's a whole thing, honestly. But in Modern Warfare 3, it's just overused, overdone. None of the missions felt good anymore, so by that point you're just like, let's get this over with. You do the mission where you launch a bunch of stuff in there, and you're wondering, okay, we probably killed Makarov, right? Because you launched his base, you raided it and everything. Nah, bro. They don't even mind confirming a body. They didn't care about confirming a body. They thought, nah, Makarov is dead because, you know, we bombarded the area. Even though we didn't see a body at all.
Hardpoint active.
Hold fire. I'm on you.
Hardpoint locked down.
Semtex.
But yeah, eventually you go and capture Shepard, because apparently Shepard was captured. Which, by the way, Shepard in these games was also ruined, because for some reason they decided that Shepard had to be the worst villain or worst written character ever. Like, you thought Makarov was bad. Nah, bro. Shepard, the new games, is whack. I'm telling you this right now. The twist in the first games about him having the data of him linked to the attack in No Russian was such a good twist, because it came out of nowhere. The way he said it, that's one less loose end. And then killing two characters, Roach and Gaz. I mean, not Roach and Gaz, I'm so sorry about that, that's horrible. Roach and Ghost. Yeah, that's the thing. Ghost literally dies in Modern Warfare 2, and yet till this day he has one of the biggest impacts in the industry. Explains a lot as to why he's in every single like game cover. But yeah, Ghost was such a big impact first few minutes of that game, and it was something incredible. The twist, the way it was built up, the way it was written. The fact that it was, what, the early 2000s? Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, media has changed completely after a certain period of time.
Assault pack.
But yeah,
Sentry turret operating.
Shepard was terribly written. Twist of him being on Philip Grape's side all of a sudden
Point active.
comes out of nowhere.
Enemy
Hostiles
with
at the hard
Semtex.
point.
Like now he all of a sudden they start being enemies and that's it. And then in Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 23, we start saving him. We need him for something else. And yeah, so eventually one of the very few missions, by the way, you go with the group. You
Pack up. Getting
you
UAV
help
in the
them and everything, fight in the snow. I will say that I always love it when they do these missions, you know, when they have original concepts. Fighting in the snow and all that is one of the coolest things ever.
Rapid fire.
But yeah, that's that on that part. So once you finish that mission, you eventually go later on
On my mark.
to the other mission to interrogate.
Hard point located.
You interrogate two characters. So first you interrogate the girl that's like the hacker
counter UAV.
who has all his money and assets, private accounts and whatnot. And speaking of which, when people were saying how bad these games were in terms of how tame they are, they mean it. They really mean it.
Hostiles attached to the hard point.
Because back then, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 19 was crazy, dude. They had you straight up
Hellstorm
terrorizing people, man. They were crazy. Like,
designating LTVR coordinates.
Modern Warfare 19 had you working with the wolves, like family and
Care
stuff.
package delivery.
And you were thinking, oh my god, this is horrible. What are they asking me to do? Where do we draw the line here? Where do we draw the line here was such a big line in that game. Like, saying that out, that read was crazy. And all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, how's Modern Warfare gonna do that with the interrogation of this hacker? You know, she is literally working for Makarov. We should probably be
Hard point active.
kept an eye on.
Aguinaldo calling
Nope.
in UAV.
Kid you not. All they do in this scene is they terrorize her by simply opening her laptop and looking at it and be like, "Ooh, it's your money, right? Your money right here? We gonna take that money." She goes, "It's my money. It's my money." And I'm just like, bruh, you're telling me in the same franchise where they had us committing war crimes, all of a sudden they go, "Nah, you can just, you know, make her sweat with her money."
Aguinaldo calling in.
Like, no, bro.
Pack 'em.
You're telling me that's what they're afraid of? That's not what they're afraid of.
Hostiles at the hard point. Hard point located.
And then there was another guy that we eventually interrogate. He's actually in the first battle pass, I believe. And
Hard point is active.
that didn't do anything either. You just knock him out. You take him with price and gas. It gives you the location, or at least you end up finding the location for Makarov. You go to this underground tunnel train system,
Pack 'em. Launch UAV.
and you hope for the best. You just hope for the best. And thinking, wow, this mission's gonna be cool. No, you end up going with cops. You end up going with these cops.
The hard point. Hostiles
That's
at
what the
hard
drill. Oh, that's the drill. That's nasty.
Your suspect has been destroyed.
Smoke grenade.
point. Come on, you're losing this fight.
What is it? But after all that happens, you end up chasing Makarov. He ends up planting a bomb in the tunnel, and you have to defuse it. Bruh.
Hostiles attached
And
to the hard point.
in the most unceremonious way possible,
Hard point active.
out of nowhere, it just happens. Soap dies. No build up, no dramatic music, no slow motion, nothing. Soap dies like a slap to the face. Wet towel.
Aguinaldo calling in UAV.
And I don't know who thought that was a good idea to write it that way, but that's how it was written.
Hard point locked down.
And
Hostiles have the hard
it was sad because, not because of the way Soap died and oh my god, he's gone. It was sad because it was done better before. A dramatic build-up to a character's death should be properly written. You know, it's like, okay, you want this person to go out, make it look like it's gonna be the worst thing possible.
Watch out.
Hard point is active. Hostiles have captured the hard
Bro,
point.
get this guy with the drill out of my face. Come on. But yeah, eventually Makarov and Soap have a fight. Get shot in the head, and then that's it. You end up looking at the ground. You end up defusing the bomb with Price, I think.
Hard point is secure.
And it's a whole thing. Price at the end of the game ends up killing Shepard, also in the most unceremonious way possible. You're thinking, if you think I'm gonna beg for my life, and then Price is like, yeah, I wouldn't count on it. He just shoots him with a silencer. And that's the ending of Modern Warfare 23. That's the game. The entire game is a bunch of random missions in Warzone maps or in big war maps that they have from the other mode. And then
Hard point active.
you end up, what's it called? You end up losing Soap.
Launching UAV.
You end up killing Shepard
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
in a random cutscene. And nothing more. And that's all. That's all to it. You think, damn. What else is there? What else is there after this, right? It gets better. It honestly just gets better after this. And by better,
Hostiles have the hard
I mean garbage. For starters, the guy that Makarov ended shooting in the head, he's not dead.
UAV in the air.
Yeah, that's right. The guy that got shot straight in the dome has a scar on his head, not dead.
Get the encounter UAV in the air.
Hard point located.
Completely fine.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Concussion grenade sighted.
Tag off. Got a care package on my grid.
And
Hard point is secure.
what else? That hacker girl, I don't think she ever turned into a
Hard point is active.
skin, if I'm correct. She never got turned into like an operator.
TACOM. Launching UAV.
What else? The other guy that got like captured, he ended up becoming an operator. I think we also got Valeria again, maybe even Alejandro. Like we got repeats of skins, we got collabs. The battle pass was random again. You couldn't expect consistency from them. Like Modern Warfare 3 was just a whatever game. Oh, and it gets better. Modern Warfare 3 wasn't even its own game. What it was is it has concepts from one game, from the other game, and then puts it all together. We have Warzone stuff here and there.
Hardpoint is secure. Enemy napalm strike incoming. Hardpoint active.
And
Enemy care package.
it's just inconsistent. It was a sad imitation of what a game of COD should have been like. And it, to me, it's still till this day one of the worst on like COD-wise especially. Like the multiplayer wasn't bad. I'm gonna be honest. I had fun in the multiplayer. That's when the multiplayer still felt fun to me. I remember still playing it to like 100% completion sometimes. But it honestly did not deserve to be its own campaign.
Hardpoint is secure.
Modern Warfare 3 should have been DLC from Modern Warfare 2. Had the same graphics, had the same ideals. It was a continuation of a story as well. So it should have just been its own little pack of DLC.
Hardpoint located.
Because that's what it is. That's all it is. It's a fresh coat of paint. And that's the worst part about this,
At the hardpoint.
is that the way COD was built should have never garnered that much like money for it. Because nowadays we be pre-ordering games, man. We pre-order games so much, and I don't want to hear anything like, "Oh, you say we? What do you mean we? I don't pre-order games." I know people pre-order games nowadays. That's just by norm. Because nowadays, pre-orders is all you get from pre-orders. It's just, oh, you want these early skins? Here you go. Here's an early skin for you. Here's early access. Here's what this can look for this.
Aguinaldo's pulling in.
And now it's just garbage.
Aguinaldo's pulling in UAV.
Hostiles attached to the hard point.
Like right now, as we speak, I have Doom Eternal: The Dark Ages, the collector's edition,
Hard point identified.
and it was such a good spend because not only did I get the statue, not only did I get the what's it called, the chip from the game, the key cards that they use in the game.
Hard point is secure.
I also got the Divinity Pack, a skin pack, which I know I already just said it's stupid, but still, it looks good. It's for the campaign, you know. It's not for multiplayer. It's not for anything else.
Molotov inbound.
Attack off. Get a UAV in the air.
But what is it?
Tack on. Give me a bloody care package. Pop and smoke.
I got the statue. I got the key card. I got the plated thing for my game, my disc. I got the physical disc, which even nowadays is crazy that doesn't get you enough. It's kind of sad.
Bion requesting chopper gun.
For just tanked my gun.
Hard point is active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Enjoy.
Hard point locked down. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Aguinaldo's pulling in watchdog.
Hard point is secure.
Send me a care package.
So, what's next? What's next for COD? I don't know, honestly, what's next for COD. In terms of what we're gonna get. Because right now we're playing Black Ops 6. The theory goes that we're either gonna get an Advanced Warfare game, or we're gonna get another continuation of Black Ops. But it's gonna be modern day,
Hard point identified.
like Call of Duty 2025. It's gonna be, we're going back to the Black Ops thing, or we're gonna go to advanced, like jetpacks and stuff again.
Nice. We're pulling ahead.
That's the thing. Once you're done with one cycle, you gotta bring back the older cycle. At least that's what these companies do.
Take tack off. Get a watchdog kilo overhead.
What is this gun?
Aguinaldo's pulling in UAV.
Oi, oi, oi. Crazy SMG. Oh yeah, at least we got Prestige back. Prestige is cool. Everybody loves Prestige. Nobody can complain. Infinite content.
Grenade coming
Get to be
in.
fun all the time.
Hard point located.
Bruh. Just sitting there prone on the floor.
Weaver requesting LDBR
Enemy
strike.
12 o'clock.
Tack off. Send me a bloody care
Oi.
package.
Attack off. Get a care package on the grid.
What else?
Attack off.
Topics, topics,
LDBR on my
topics.
mark.
Oh,
Arcade going on.
how about a digital console
Hard point locked down.
topic right here? Might as well be digital. Oh my gosh.
Captured the hard point.
So I don't know if y'all heard about
Hard
this,
point is secure.
but right now, as we speak,
Hard point locked down.
there is
Attack off.
a
Request help.
huge dumb thing where now Nintendo has made it so that a person, in terms of buying their console, legally speaking, binding by the way, if you purchase a Nintendo Switch, for starters, in games, you want a digital game, their price, $80. I'm not kidding. That is their price. For a digital game, it's gonna be $80. And all I gotta say to that is, in your dreams,
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
no way I'm paying that. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, but what about this edition and this edition? If you pay this much, if you gonna pay $100 for an edition of a game, why don't you just pay $80 for any game? You better be giving me something with that game if you want me to pay that much. All I'm gonna say is that there's a reason why those editions exist. They come with extra stuff, buddy. You don't pay $80 for a game that looks just as is. You want that? We're gonna pay 60 or we're gonna pay 40. One of the craziest games that launched this year, not even this year, like the year before, Helldivers. Helldivers was $40. You wanted the premium edition, the Super Citizen edition? That, my friend, was 60. A regular price game. Now sure, it's a multiplayer game, and sure you can play it without the PlayStation membership. But I kid you not, if that wasn't one of the best games that I've ever played. Honestly. Like, I don't know what was going through people's head.
Hostiles captured the hard point.
It's crazy.
Call, napalm strike inbound.
The way that game was meant to work
Point locked down.
was so fun that it honestly garners it in the legendary line of role that it is. So now, back to the Nintendo Switch topic. Why is it a problem that a game is $80? The game for a price tag is really only worth its amount when it comes to content. And if it's going to offer the same content it's been offering the entire time, or in terms of what it's going to offer based on its other projects, it should never have to be equal to $80. Never. Taxes or whatever, nothing. It shouldn't be $80 final. And now you want people to pay $80 for a digital game, and that'll probably be ports. That's the saddest part. It'll probably be ports too, that they're probably going to ask you to pay $80. Like, I think it's Nintendo Switch that's one of the only games right now that still sells old games for the same price for this many years. And now, you're probably guessing, hey, what does a physical cost? Hey, maybe it's less because it's a disc, right? Or maybe it's less because it's a chip, right?
Hard point located.
Nah, fam.
Get a watchdog kilo on
The
my
price for a Nintendo Switch, did you not, is $90. For a price of a game, $90.
Hard point locked down.
Deploy care
You want to
package.
buy a physical game? $90. You want a chip that's the size of a keychain? $90 right here. You better have $90, cause cough it up. Oh, and to top it all off, little cherry on top, it's not a game.
Get a UAV in the air.
Finish lines in sight.
Now, if you're
Don't let
confused as to what I just said,
Agronaldo.
let me repeat that for you. You're paying $90 for the game, and yet it's not a game.
Back on. Launch a counter UAV.
What it is,
Springline spotted.
it's a key to the game. It's a key to the game you're purchasing. It's not a game. It's a key to the game you're purchasing.
Designating
Like,
LDBR coordinates.
you put the chip in the back of the port or whatever,
Hard point
and then once you put the chip will activate and say, hey, you have unlocked this game, go download it on the shop. That's what that is. That's what the chip is. It's not a physical game anymore, it's just a key for a game.
Perfect execution.
We've officially lost it. We've lost our minds.
Good job, crew.
We've lost our minds. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but I guess Nintendo did. So that's already starting. That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning of how bad this is. Imagine this, right? Imagine to my surprise,
Was that your best shot?
Nintendo Switch added something to their clause, to their contract. You know how you have to agree to terms, to the terms and services? Okay. When you read that contract, there's gonna be a part there that says, hey, so legally, this console is not yours. Get that right, bro. That console that you just bought from them is not yours. The console you purchased with your money or with your credit card or whatever is not yours. You, as the person that bought the console, are nothing more than just holding a license for the console. You're holding a license of purchase. You're holding a license to ownership. That's it. You only have it for a certain period of time or something. But in terms of you actually owning that, you don't. You own a license to have it. That's it. And you may ask yourself, how will this affect, and what do you mean exactly how this works? Well, the reason why they wrote it that way is so they could shut you down anytime they liked. Get this. The Nintendo Switch has a kill switch. Get that? The Nintendo Switch has a kill switch.
Hardpoint.
What do I mean by that?
CIA, you're cleared hot.
In their clause, in their contract clause,
Hostiles
it
have
is
the
stated
hardpoint.
that if you modify in any shape or form your Nintendo Switch, they can shut it down from the headquarters. Just like, wait, what? What do you mean by that, man? I mean exactly what it says. I mean exactly what it says.
Hostiles have captured
You
the
touch
hardpoint.
that console
Hardpoint
in any
secured.
funny way whatsoever, you modify it, do anything to it,
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
you try to like change a port, you try to change the screen or change the batteries. I don't know how deep this goes, but I know this for sure. If you touch your Nintendo Switch in any shape or form that is completely out of like its stock mode, like if you change it out of its stock, you will literally get shut down. Now, I don't know if this also means like jailbreaking it, because I know that some people buy jailbroken consoles. But yeah,
Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have captured the
a
hardpoint.
jailbroken console.
Giving up the lead.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like imagine, right? Let's say one day you change your battery or something, or you do something to your console, you know, because you need a repair, and then Nintendo's like, oh, something changed in this console, let me turn it off. Bam, black screen. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. But Nintendo Switch has become like the dictator of this stuff.
Requesting recon overhead.
You don't do it their way, you get shut down. That's it. You don't own it. You don't own it. You don't own your consoles. That's what they're telling you to your face.
Hardpoint identified.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hardpoint active.
And I feel bad, honestly, because there's people who really love Nintendo, but at the same time, I also don't feel bad, because when the Nintendo Switch released its like sale, I'm not kidding, it sold out so fast. It sold out so
Hardpoint is
quickly
secure. Hostiles have
that
captured
nowadays
the
I
hardpoint.
think that the PS5 and Xbox stuff was a joke, but no, man, that was nothing. What you're looking at right now
Hostiles have the
is a
hardpoint.
demonstration of how addicted people are to getting the newest thing. It's truly sad, honestly, because people probably should have read about this. They should have been informed, like, hey man,
The hardpoint.
I want you to know this, that if you modify that thing,
Hardpoint
you're gonna get the black screen of death.
Hardpoint is active. Hostiles
Like
have the
imagine, right?
hardpoint.
The Xbox 360 gave you that ring of death. Like that was, it's a joke nowadays because people don't use that. But back in the day, that was sad. The thing was shut down and you would just see like, bam, my Xbox is done. That's it. But yeah, so you can tell that some people just don't care. So at the same time, I don't feel bad because if these people know what they're getting into, then honestly, that's you, fam. That's you.
Hardpoint is secure.
And yeah, that's my topic on Nintendo Switch, I guess.
Hostiles have captured the hard
That's the
point.
end of that.
Hardpoint
There's nothing more to say about it. Oh, and if you're asking, by the way, oh, does this guy ever even had a Nintendo or anything? Believe it or not, I did. I had a Nintendo DSi. when I was little.
Down.
It was dope. I left it to my cousins though. It was dope at the time to just have it. I remember I had like crazy games on it, like Lego Batman, Lego Star Wars. I had the, what's it called, the Percy Jackson game. I don't know why. I had a Percy Jackson turn-based game. It was ridiculous.
Enemy
What is it?
incoming.
Yeah, the Nintendo DSi was something else, man. I had both on that thing. That was crazy.
Enemy Molotov incoming!
I had Wolverine. I even had the Wolverine game.
Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point located. Watchdog Hilo incoming on your location.
Oh, look, a Hilo.
Take out that watchdog hero!
Hard point is active. Hard point is secure.
Bye-bye. What did you think?
Get out! Frag!
I'm gonna sit here all day looking shit. Oh, shit. What else? What's another thing I could talk about? Oh, I went to watch Sinners. I went to watch Thunderbolts for this summer. And I'm being honest, I actually enjoyed them both. I've heard a lot of negativity around Thunderbolts, but I still enjoyed it. It was honestly its own little fun thing. I liked it because at least now you could see, oh, we have a team of these crazy people who have like abilities, but not that many abilities. They can fight, punch, and shoot. That's what they can do. But they have their own personalities, you know. It's like the way you write these characters. That's what matters. And also, I like how they changed their name from Thunderbolts to something else.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Enemy Molotov incoming!
Like, it's not gonna be stuck to that. They led up to the Fantastic Four at the end of the movie. It's pretty fun though. And in terms of how the characters were written, I'd say they're pretty fun. One of my favorite characters, the US agent, is there, and it's pretty cool. I will say though, the actions he commits are not always gonna be for righteous reasons. They're pretty selfish if you think about it, compared to the last one.
Hard point is secure.
But in terms of writing, I'd say it was pretty sad. This movie has a deep like exploration of traumas and everything. The main character, like the main villain,
Hard point locked down.
they're both like very well entangled with that topic.
Hard point is active.
The comedy's pretty good. David Harbour was amazing in it. Winter Soldier, I loved him so much in that movie, so seeing him here again was fun. However, I will say this, they don't have him doing so much. That's one of the sad things about movies like this, like let's say you have, what's it called? Like Guardians of the Galaxy knew how to handle it properly. Suicide Squad, you have to learn how to do that too. But in terms of screen time, how much they handle things, I'd say Thunderbolts did need a little bit more handling on it. They needed a little bit more time to cook that story. But man, if they didn't do a good job with the Void and everything. The abilities and everything. Sentry wasn't underpowered. A lot of people were always going to complain that, oh, that Sentry's going to be underpowered because this is the Thunderbolts, they need to underpower him so that way he can be fun, strong. But no, he ended up pretty strong. That scene where he ends up like fighting all of the Avengers in one ended up being entertaining because he was kept in his power, in his zone. And yeah, I'd say Thunderbolts overall was pretty good. I will say though, the pacing is a little bit all over the place. But I'd say it was a good story overall. Now in terms of Sinners, oof, oof, ooh, what a good movie, man. Oh my god. Never did I think that a movie like that, so many years, would be so fun. Because most of the time, whenever somebody thinks vampire movies, they're like, "Are you serious? Another vampire movie? Another vampire movie? Haven't we had enough?" And I'm gonna say this right now.
Hardpoint is active.
Nah, fam.
Hostiles have the hard point.
Because honestly, I was always a big fan of vampire movies, but not the Twilight movies, man. Them movies made the vampires look sexy or something, man. Like, no, they're vampires, dude. They're supposed to be creatures of the night. They're supposed to be creepy looking. Nosferatu came in there like, "Hey, this is what a vampire looks like. Hideous, old, long nails." And then Sinners came in, he's like, "Yeah, we can do that. We can do that too. But we're gonna do it our own way." And they did. Ludwig Göransson came back to produce the music, so that was good. What else? Ryan Coogler, director, cooked again. Cinematography and everything, whoever was in charge of that, cooked as well. Music was good. The aspects, the atmosphere, like you could tell, they knew exactly what they were going in for.
Point is secure.
They went all in on this movie. And even Ryan Coogler was like, "I am so surprised by the amount of success that he got." And yeah, he deserves that success, man. This movie was so good when it came out. Like, the things I kept hearing, and honestly, the soundtrack this movie has, Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, such great actors. Michael Keaton, great singer, great acting as well. Everybody was top notch. The acting in this movie was great. Dude, the actor for Cornbread was so funny in this movie for no reason. Like, before he's a vampire and after he's a vampire, he is such a fun character.
Enemy RCXD detected.
And it was such a cool idea. But yeah, how about let me go a little on topic of that movie.
Hardpoint located.
So basically, the movie starts off like this. It starts off with a clip of Miles Canton's character going into the church of his father, and he's all messed up, all banged up,
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
scratched in the face, guitar is broken. You don't even see the thing that was holding the guitar together. It was something crazy. You're thinking, Jesus, this guy's been through like a war zone or something. But what's it called?
Authorizing UAV.
His dad ends up telling him to take off the guitar and everything. "Son, come on, it's a sinner's way of life. Take off the guitar." He's thinking all that stuff, right? But no, you can see in the flashbacks, he's like traumatized, he got PTSD. That it wasn't the devil, but it was definitely something. And later it cuts to something else. It cuts to Miles Canton again, but now he's fine. Working the fields and everything, the sun's coming out. And then he's going to do work and all that. And then he goes to church because he can't find his guitar. And now his dad is asking him, "Hey man, can you come read this sermon for me? I want you to help me do the sermon." And the sermon that he reads is actually pretty interesting. I don't remember it fully, but I do remember that it ties directly to what is going to happen in the movie.
Hostile care package inbound.
And basically what happens is he tells his dad, "Hey, I came for my guitar." And he sees it, and his dad's like, "Yeah, I know I brought the guitar because I wanted you to come over here and do the sermon with me." He's like, "Yeah, you know I can't do that, Dad. Come on, I gotta do stuff." And then his dad immediately cuts to like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go sing music,
UAV inbound.
blues music, the devil's music for these people who just sweat,
Hardpoint
dance,
located.
and breathe amongst their sins." And it's like, he's like, "No, bro, I'm just gonna go play some music. I love music."
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
And honestly, one of the things that I like about this movie is outright the soundtrack was made for this movie, man. They knew exactly what they were doing with this movie.
SATCOM, I need eyes overhead.
Hardpoint locked
Damn.
down. Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO.
And so then, it cuts to the two brothers, and they're buying a house.
Enemy scout
They're buying what is it called? A shack. And it's gonna be a big shack that they end up buying. And the shack that they end up buying is owned by a white guy. Now this is the 1930s, if I'm correct. So the Klan and stuff was definitely still a thing, man. Nobody can lie about that stuff. It was definitely a thing. So the brothers end up pulling up, and one of the coolest things about this movie is when you see the brothers, man, Michael B. Jordan can really act. I'm gonna say that right now. Michael B. Jordan can act for sure. Because that guy knew exactly what he was doing when he signed up for this role. They told him, my man, I need you to be twins. But they have to be different. They have to be different. How different? They literally have to be opposites of each other.
Sniper, find cover!
Okay, no problem. I can do that. I can act a bit. I can do that. Michael B. Jordan literally is one of the best actors in terms of twins. I'm gonna say that right now. If there was a thing for twins, like if there was a thing, like Academy Award-winning roles for being a twin, that would be him. Because this guy has to portray the Smokestack twins. Now Smoke is very reserved, very different. You know, he's mature. He's come from war, so he's gonna be more serious about things. He's gonna be more tactical, more down to earth. And then Stack is more outgoing. He's more out there per se. Yeah. So then one of the coolest things that they end up doing in this movie, right from the beginning, is since the effects and everything rely on him being one-on-one, Stack puts a cigarette together, puts a cigarette for his brother, and gives it to Smoke. And the transition from a shot-to-shot perspective is so good because they're both facing the camera. And they did such a great job. Man, I'm telling you, they did such a great job with the effects in this movie. So, they end up doing that. And so the guy that owns the place comes over, gives them a little, like, how do you say? A little chat, you know? And asks one of the stupidest questions I've ever heard in my life. He goes, you guys twins? And Stack, being the smartass that he is, he goes, nah, we cousins. Like, dude, you gotta be really, really dumb. Like, why would you ask that? Look at them. They look like picture perfect. Almost like they're being portrayed by the same actor. There you go, Jim Carrey, 2024. But what is it? So yeah, they end up going into the place, they ask him, hey, who cleaned this place or what? How's it been used? What was it used for? And he's like, you guys gonna buy this place or not, boy? And he's like, there are no boys here, only men. With men money, big men money. And you can tell the scene was about to cut and be very, very full of tension. But they end up giving his money. You know, he's strapped too. The guy that was selling them the house, he's strapped. This is Smokestack twins, bro. Oh, and one more thing. Right from the beginning, you can tell these guys worked for different mobs. Because the thing about the mobs in those days was that they would always be dressed in uniform. But I'd say that, yeah, so I believe it's Stack who worked for the Italians. And then it was Smoke who worked for the Irish. Now, since that is how they run things, they are probably there. They came from Chicago, so they're looking for business. And it turns out that the reason why they're there is to make their own juke joint. Now, of course, they don't tell the guy why they're doing that, but they immediately tell him, like, hey, if we find one of your clan buddies here, since we own the place... Oh, by the way, that was funny, by the way. The way they establish things, they're like, oh, we own the place legally now because we gave you money. But nowadays, it's like a whole process to own the place. But, yeah. So he ends up leaving, they establish the juke joint, and so they get up, they go, hey, let's go, man, we gotta go. Oh, that was me? Are you serious? Bruh. That is so dumb. I gotta get that. I gotta get a clip of that. Nah, bro.